as a football player, you couldn't find a more fierce competitor, a more ruthless competitor, but he cared. I mean, classic example of that is when he broke Joe Theismann's leg.
I remember it like it was yesterday. What jumped out at me was, first of all, was the sound. You could actually hear the breaks, the two muzzled gunshots. And then the suddenness with which it broke. It really went like a breadstick.
He was shaken. I mean, visibly shaken. And he just wanted to make sure Joe was okay.
I remember lying on the field. I remember the faces around me. I remember Joe Gibbs, Bubba Tyre, our trainer. First thing I said to Bubba, I never went into shock. My leg from the knee down was completely numb. Never went into shock. I remember turning to Bubba and go, Bubba, call my mom and dad, tell them I'm okay. That's the first thing I told them. And then then they start to work on my leg, and Coach Gibbs comes up and he kneels down and he's looking at me, he's going, Joe, for 6 years we've been together. Joe, you've been such an important part of this football team. Joe, this is a heck of a mess you've left me in.
He didn't say that.
He did. And
what?
He did. And I said, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I am, you know. But yeah, but he was trying to, he was trying to make light of the moment. And I understand what he was trying to do. And then I looked up to the left and there's this big Longines clock at RFK Stadium. And I believe it was like 10:05 p.m. And I saw the clock and I could feel the moisture on my back. Today, I can lie down and go back in that moment and I can feel the moisture and I hear the sounds and smell the smells of that stadium. They're all like they were right here. The senses are so keen to them. And when I went off that field, they had given me an ovation like I'd never heard in my life. And to go off that stadium, out of that stadium, and to that ovation, to the people thanking me, and I could never thank them enough for being their quarterback was really something special. Tuesday morning, Lawrence calls. Nurse comes walking in. She says, Mr. Theismann, Mr. Taylor's on the phone. Would you like to speak to him? I said, give me the phone. I said, LT, is that you? He says, yeah, Joe, how you doing? I said, not very well. He says, why? I said, why? You broke both bones in my leg, for crying out loud. He says, Joe, you have to understand something. I don't do things halfway. I'll call you later.